indigenous film. I love how the single dancer is immersed in digital flame, fire, and color, in addition to these dancing white lines that create the female body and a couple times a headdress. I just love the spirit-like essence to this film, and the high-pitched female war cry and the strong drum beat are extremely effective in addition to these violin strains. I can really sense the anger towards the pilgrims and their mother ruler. It's a very effective, memorable film. Well done.
I really appreciated the simplicity of the style that they went for here. At a glance, I'm not sure if that was just all created from still images or not, but it's just really smartly done from strictly animation standpoint. The approach and the execution, just marvelous, worth checking out.
I really liked the animation style with this. I love the kind of like low shutter speed, like etching over this. Can't tell if they were just a bunch of images or if they filmed it legitimately like at like 1/15 of a second. But yeah, it was really cool. I always think this is like a really interesting effect that people don't explore too much. It's really easy to make things like slow-mo, but you don't really see people kind of go in the opposite direction and make everything very like wispy.
An amazing technique. It was combining an animation and some theatrical performance, and also for sure the dancing sequence, and it was just a great mix of dancing, artistic depiction of traditional cultures. The drumming, it was so strong, and I mean it was a lovely, amazing experience.
I really enjoyed how the animation in dancing matched the music. For Cam, I thought that was really, really cool. Like the way the dancing was sped up and kind of blurry, and then we had the animations jumping on top. It just matched the pacing really well, and also vaguely resembled like a flames dancing in a fire, like in a campfire or a candle or something like that. And I thought that was a really neat feel with like the dark background. It was like hearing a story, but like the modern version of a campfire story, and it was a really neat experience visually.
I thought this was great. I thought it was wild and crazy. I loved the blending of kind of like the drawn on or kind of animated animals or different parts that had gone on, and kind of overlaying that with the fluidity and the kind of like what looks like some sort of time-lapsed version of the woman dancing. I thought those two really worked well together, and then the overlay with the audio was so like raw and powerful, and I thought that married with the movement but also the drawing so well. It like obviously was very intentional, but it all like felt right together, and it felt like it all fit together, and it was such a simple, like visually speaking, it was very simple with the like black background and just the dancer moving, but you couldn't, necessarily speaking, like always see every movement because it was very fluid, and it was like time lapsed or edited in that kind of way. But then to also have the drawn on moments that are incorporated with all of it, visually it was like really stripped down, but I thought that added to the power of the piece overall.
I know I wasn't able to take my eyes off the dancer, and there were very strong background voices throughout the entirety of the film, which I really appreciated. I also liked watching the dancer transform and like become different figures. Different figures would take over what we just saw, and that worked really well because you're always wondering what we're going to see next and what's going to happen next. And that's why I couldn't take my eyes off the screen the entire time I was watching it. And the black background worked very well because it forced us to give all of our attention to the dancer and the figures that the dancer turned into. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
Really remarkable combination of theatrics, of cinema, and of kind of slam poetry, just all blended into one. And then you kind of have a music vibe in there too, because while it feels more poetic than lyrical in nature, there's this undeniable rhythmic beat to it that echoes music. So some could argue that music is echoed in there too. It's a piece that certainly maintains visual attention throughout through its use of erratic yet obviously very purposeful visuals that have meaningful intent to them. It feels chaotic, but it definitely has its own internal sense of logic, and that's what I think makes the piece work so well. Because if not, it would just feel very random and not elicit really sufficient emotion from the audience. But it really does. You do get a sense of what it is trying to say. So because of that, we can tell that there is purpose behind this. There is intent, but it is cleverly constructed in such a way as to feel kind of random and discombobulated.